So you will, as I was saying, guys, you will use design thinking to learn to, I mean, you will design thinking as a methodology that will allow you to create real solutions for real problems of real people. That's what design thinking is for. And you guys, as professionals in languages, you might face lots of different challenges when teaching, and from different perspectives, not just as teachers, but also perhaps as students and as coordinators of programs, or even managers of programs. I mean, in any role you play, you might face issues, and the point is that we want to get closer to a methodology gives us that can give us tools and strategies for that, for creating solutions for real problems. Because the thing is that there are cases in which you can start a startup, and you are not actually thinking on solving a solution, but just on making money, which is good, but that's what makes the idea perhaps less attractive. You see, um, let's let's see what happens with all the e-commerce going on in Instagram. We buy when we buy something in Instagram, it's because either we really like it, because I mean we need it. We say like, wow, I need this. I was looking for something like this. I need it. I believe that's going to be very useful, or because we find it somehow special, different, innovative. You see that something is different, something that you haven't had, or that you didn't know would exist. So that calls your attention. You see, so it's like those two ideas. Like I want to buy something because I need it, because I actually need it, or because I find it very interesting. And I personally believe that there is a little distance, like in most of cases we buy the things that we actually need, which is the first case, but we also buy things that we don't need, but we buy them because they are very interesting, because they are innovative, because they are special, let's say. So we want to have those things. So that means that we want to somehow, for the case of this project, we want to identify an actual need of a person and provide a solution for that person. That's what we would like to get to do, not just to create like a business idea so we earn money and that's it, but to actually create a solution for a problem, and create a solution for a problem or a need which is also innovative. And that's a little bit what we are going to talk about in a moment. And as we do that, in order to do that, we also need to communicate our ideas effectively. We know that that's essential. That is essential. If we don't know how to communicate our ideas effectively, well, the project itself is not going to work really, I mean, clearly. So what we said is that in this very first step, we are going to define a challenge. So you guys are going to challenge yourselves. So that's how the project starts. The project design starts with a design challenge, and that's where we want to get. So the homework we had was basically here on the left. You guys would write things you wish would exist related to your project. So if your project is related with clothing, well, let's dream, or let's think about things that you wish could exist. So you say like, I would like to have access to a platform where you can find secondhand clothes, where you can find just independent shops. So what if we could put all the independent um, clothing shops in one single platform, so you can, let's put it like some sort of Netflix of clothes. Can you imagine that? So it's like you just dream about it, things you wish would exist, and you would just put them here. So I wish there was a platform, blah blah blah. In the case of grips and things that could be better, you think about things that already exist, but you say, for instance, you know what? For example, people sell clothes on Instagram, and that works, but that's not enough. What if uh, they had like some sort of application inside that could tell you what clothes to use depending on your style. I don't know, like some sort of consultancy service that could be linked there. I think that could be better. You see, so it's like that's the only thing you would put. And then on the right here, we would it's like convert those sentences into challenge statements. So how might we? That's how the sentences should start, all the sentences. How might we design a platform where people can have access to independent shops information, for example? You see, that's the pretty much the kind of transformation we would do. So before we start, guys, and before I tell you about what's next, I would like you to watch a video, and which I'm going to share with you. So the point here, guys, is that we are thinking about this. Like we are thinking about things that could exist or things that could be better, and we are going to pose a challenge. Like, how can we make this? But just as a matter of inspiration, the point here, guys, is that you don't have to like get obsessed with thinking about an actual solution, because that's not the point. And if you want to innovate, if you want to come up with a different idea, with an innovative idea, it doesn't mean that you need to think about something which is absolutely crazy, but it's more about connecting dots. Okay, it's about connecting things that perhaps are not obviously connected. So when you start connecting these dots and connecting people or connecting places that are not obviously connected, that could be the starting point of innovation. So I'm going to show you an example of a very simple project, which is very innovative and solves a need of real people. So that's just an example of a project, and you'll see how beautiful this is. So we're gonna watch the video, and then I'm gonna give you a couple of instructions more, and then we'll proceed. So let me just share my screen again. So guys, I'd like to know if you have perhaps any questions so far. I know I've talked so much today, but I'd like to know if you have any questions so far or comments. No?
No.
Wait a minute. I think I need to optimize for video clip. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so as I said, guys, I simply want you to watch this video. This is an idea of a project in the field of languages, which I believe it's a very good definition of an innovative project that solves a real need of real people. So let's watch it. Sorry, can you hear and see the video well?
Yes, teacher.
There we go.
Not all of our students have the chance to travel abroad and to interact with native speakers of English. What our students really want is to speak English fluently. And we're always asking ourselves, how can we make it more real, more human? We created a tool that connects our students with seniors in the USA living in retirement homes.
Hello, hello.
Melissa.
Hi, Dick. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
It's the first time that I'm talking with someone from another country.
I'm very excited to be doing this.
I look like I'm only 25, but I'm 88.
Do you have sisters and brothers?
No, I'm one child.
Only one. Oh, you poor fella.
I'm live with my old brother. He has 23 years.
Do you know, instead of saying he has 23 years, you could say he is 23 years old.
I tried to go to Lollapalooza that we have next week, I think, in Brazil, but my mom didn't let me.
You got a good mom.
Good morning, dear Julia. Good morning to you.
This is your dad?
That's me and my wife when we were young.
Oh, you were good looking when you were young. And you're still good looking.
My first destiny is United States, of course, because I wanted to put better my English.
Well, you do very well, I must say.
Are you planning someday to go to Brazil?
Oh, I would like to.
You can stay in my house if you want.
If you could just dream and have whatever you want, what do you think you would like to be doing?
I see myself in big family, you know, with a beautiful wife, you know. I want to thank you for this change of experience, you know. You are incredible.
Obrigado.
You are my new granddaughter, and I love you.
I love you too.
And if you were here, I would give you a big hug.
Oh yeah, let's hug. Oh, bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So what do you think about that idea?
That was just excellent.
You say? So there is, of course, we could say that is somehow innovative because it has got technology, right? So there is technology. I know, Valeria. That's exactly what I felt the first time I watched it. So it's like it's innovative because there is technology, but it is not innovative just because of technology. What's innovative about this idea is the fact that it connects two worlds that are not often connected. You see, it's the point. It's this idea of connecting two spaces, two kinds of people who in normal conditions would never interact with each other. So on the one hand, we've got the students who need practice, who need to talk to people from other, from other backgrounds and with a different language so they can feel challenged to improve their language. But at the same time, we've got a group of people who want someone to talk to, you see, and that's the people in the retirement homes. So connecting these two groups of people, it's the key of the innovation of this idea. You see, so perhaps as you progress working on your projects, that's part of what we need to find, you see, and that's part of what we need to do when we want to propose a solution to a problem people have, you see, always focusing on that, on people. So in this case, as you say, the solution is focused on the people, on the students and the people living in the retirement homes. It's not focused on technology, right? Or not focus on the problem itself, actually. It's focused on the needs of the real people behind. So that could serve as an inspiration, guys, for us to think about solutions. But in this moment, we are focusing on the challenge before. In case you want to have a look at the video later, or you want to know more about it, I'm gonna just leave the link here. So there you go, guys. So this is what we're gonna do. As I said, guys, I need to start having conversations with the groups directly. So we're gonna have a look at this part that we just did. But as we did that, guys, as I go to each one of the groups and I share with them, so we check this, I'd like you guys to start working on this second part, okay? So as you guys already have some ideas on what you want to do, what I'd like you guys to do is to start thinking about your end goals, your measures, and your constraints for that idea. So you already have a sort of an idea of what you want to do. But first of all, I'd like you to think about your end goals. What's going to be your end goal with this project during this semester? So you, for instance, could say, my end goal is to design at least one of the products we want to sell. So let's say that you actually want to sell clothes, for instance. So you would like to design one product during the semester. You would like that, you would like to get there. That's one option. Once again, talking about clothes, you say, I would like to come up with some initial designs, like 2 or 3 designs of those clothes. Like you will not actually create them, but you will have the designs, you know, the sketches. Give me a second. I'm sorry. So the sketches, like I would like to have the sketches too, so actually we can see what we've got there. So if it's a project in education, so my end goal would be to have a whole plan that we can implement next year. So I would like to have a completed plan that we can start in a school or with certain teachers, you see. So I would like you to think about the end goals that you want to achieve, the things that you want to get by the end of a project. And this is the moment for you to start actually dreaming. So it's not about putting lots of goals, but being very specific regarding the things that you want to get to. It's not just the things that you want to get with the project, but it could also be personal learning goals. So for instance, I want to learn, one of my goals is to learn to give short presentations effectively. So as I'm working on this project, one of my goals is to learn to give short presentations very effectively. So that's something I want to get with this project. So you can mix that, okay? Goals of the project itself, of your business idea, let's say, but also personal learning goals. The second part, guys, here, which says define indicators of success. This is so important. What measures and indicators will help me know my ideas are successful? This is so important. So measures, for instance. So let's say that I'm designing an English teaching program, or like for instance, I know that there is a group who plans to design like applications or games for students. So one of the measures would be that, look at this, guys, a very clear example. You say, for instance, at least 60% of the students, at least 60% of the students who will participate in the project will find the application useful. You see, so my measure is that if at least 60% of the students that I will work with say that the application is useful, that's a measure of success. That's one example. Another example could be if we can design a game that can be that students can interact with. If we can actually design the game this semester, that's going to be a measure of success. Those are just some examples. Okay, guys. Because as we progress, we'll see a little bit better this part, and this is something that we can work on later and we can improve. And the last part, guys, has to do with constraints. Constraints are, in other words, limitations. So when you have your end goals and your measures ready, you need to think about those things that can be a problem. So for example, if I want to design games, one obvious constraint could be that I don't know how to develop a game, you see, which is not necessarily an obstacle, but that's a constraint. So as you don't know how to do that, that could be a constraint. Another constraint is that I will develop a business idea, but I've never done it. This is the very first time I do it. So that's going to be a limitation I have in this moment. So I need to be careful about it. Another constraint could be related to time. So if you say, well, we've got very tight schedules, we don't have enough time to dedicate to the project. So that's something also we need to keep in mind. So you guys as a group will think about all those limitations that you could have. That's essentially what we're going to do. And the last part, which says other things to keep in mind, well, it's literally other things to keep in mind. So you can add notes. This is completely optional. You can put some additional notes here on things that you believe you should keep in mind. So guys, is it clear what we have to do?
Yes, teacher.
So guys, do not forget, regarding goals, it's the goals of the project, but it could also be personal learning goals. So I want to learn to deliver presentations more effectively. I want to learn more about innovation. You see, it could be also goals that you have yourselves with the project. Measures, It's like those things that will tell you that the project is going to be successful, and also constraints, which has to be with limitations that you need to work on so they don't get you stuck on the road, let's say. So guys, as you work on this part, which is something that will take some time, at least 20, 25, almost 30 minutes. As you work on this, I will visit each one of the groups. And what I'd like you guys to do is to show me this part. So when I get to your group, please show me this part and tell me about your idea. This is something to be honest, I'm really, really excited to do, because I want to see how your preliminary ideas have evolved and what you actually want to do. And this is also going to be a very interesting practice for us, because this is one of the first times in which you guys have to talk about your idea. And I will also pay attention to that and give recommendations on how to describe your ideas better and make it more effectively. So this is going to be a very interesting speaking exercise as well. Okay, guys, so I will open the breakout rooms. Let me just stop the recording so far. We're gonna go there, Cord. So guys, that was very nice. I really like the exercise we did today, although I'm so sorry that I couldn't cover all the groups, because as you say, it demands more time, but that's something I'll do on Monday. On Monday, I will work with the missing groups, which are like four groups I couldn't work with. But you guys some pretty interesting ideas. And what I like about this is that you guys are understanding a little bit better the methodology, and you're focusing a lot on actual real needs. And as you can see, those needs that you have identified can be exploited. And the point here, guys, as a summary, is that I really would like you to sort of focus on telling stories behind those ideas you are working on. That's something we can explore a little bit more in detail next week. But so far, I believe that you guys have got some really interesting projects in mind, and that's something we can absolutely do. So I'm gonna call the attendance super quick because we got just like 2 minutes. So let me just pause here.